Hey everybody, welcome back to the Old Swedes farm. I got the pretty one on a video finally, so it's not just me. I know you guys are asking. We want chickens and we want Holly. I got her on. Hey, we wanted to talk about goals. I know I'm looking pretty today. We had spent a good chunk of the day trying to get the barn open. The big door was frozen in place.
Yep.
And
took both of us and a lot of hard work, and
the ice has just froze the thing up. So anyways, one of our goals maybe would be to move to a warmer climate. I don't know. Hey, we wanted to run you through our goals for the year. Last year, I did a goals video and I failed miserably. We talked about the orchard, the pine trees, what was it, a wildflower garden for the butterflies.
yep,
Life got in the way. So
having to redo the whole garden,
yeah,
the fabric on the one side and everything
there
just
was-
kind of.
It was everything.
toll.
It was everything. We had so much going on garden-wise, and we were successful with that.
Yep.
But one thing I have learned, and it's a lot of me, and I said in one of our lives, I wave my hands and I come up with all these ideas, and I say, I'm going to do it, and you can only bite off. As a homesteader, if I can give you one piece of advice, you can only bite off
So much.
so much. And I tried to take some big bites last year. This year, we've got a lot of small bites,
Yep.
and hopefully we can chew on a few of them and make them successful. So, and we're also looking out a couple years. Some of the things we talk about will be set up for the next year, for 2024.
Yep.
One thing we always look at when we're planning something, do we have the time? And obviously, last year I failed miserably on that part of it, but do we also have the money? And for like the orchard and some of that stuff, we've been saving now for a year, over a year.
A couple years.
So, you know what? The money's there now. Hey, that's not an issue. And I think if you're looking at setting some goals, think about the financial side and how that all plays in. So, 'cause that's a huge part. You don't want to skimp on other stuff. You know, go hungry so you can have some apple trees or something.
Yeah.
But all right, let's go through. These are in kind of no particular order, but somewhat of an order. Number one that I wrote down, and part of it's because someone here said it, but an herb garden.
Yep. Just to get some herbs that I use all the time: oregano, thyme, basil, and get mint going, just so that we have that, and that maybe I can dry it up for the winter and have it in my spice cabinet, and also to have to use fresh during the summer.
Well, and last year we did have herbs, but they were in an area by the tomatoes, the couple sparse tomatoes that we had planted for the chickens.
And the squash.
And the squash was into them. The weeds were all over. It was not what it should be.
No.
I'm looking honestly at outside the main garden, something good sized. I mean, good sized where you can walk in there, fenced off to keep our chickens out, and do it right instead of just making a tiny little area and trying to get
Something for me to easily go out and get what I need and then come back and not
Yep.
have to climb all the way into the garden.
Open a little gate, walk in, and I'm thinking something that is 10 feet by 20 or something like that, something of size. So an herb garden. Hopefully I can put a smile on someone's face. And actually having all those herbs really pays off
And it'd be nice too to add to the CSA.
to have some, there it is. We do a CSA, Community Support Agriculture, where people come once a week and pick up vegetables from us. And so it would be nice to include some herbs with them, especially, we're giving them cucumbers for pickling. Be good to give them some dill. Some of that
if
stuff.
they're getting tomatoes, throw some basil in there with it.
There you go.
So.
Good idea. There's a whole side of the garden that we had to weed last year, and it's kind of where we had our watermelons, if you look back on videos. But about a third of that, about a third of the garden, I want to, like we've done on one side, put garden fabric down, put some raised beds on top of those cattle troughs to weight it down so the wind can't get underneath it, and really make it a formal garden. Burn those holes in there and be able to put more whatever plants, but put other plants there and have that formalized without having to weed that. So that would give us 2/3 of that big garden. Huge goal, but we've already got the garden fabric.
Yep.
And the staples.
Yep. All we'd need to do is get the troughs.
Get the troughs.
Stuff to put in there, the rock and everything. But
we can find that. We can find rock. There's plenty of rock around here.
But it'll be easier to do 4 troughs than 6 troughs last year in the amount we did last year.
Yep. And part of that is with having another area that's more formal. I want to expand the number of vegetables that we grow. I want to offer the people in our CSA and us a wider variety of vegetables and be able to start our CSA for pickup earlier. Now, by doing that, I also want to expand the poundage. Last year we did about 2,900 pounds. I want to go to 4,000 pounds of vegetables, not counting pumpkins and squash. So that's a big thing. It'll help with our CSA, like I said, and at the same time expanding the products. I want to expand to 4 families that we're serving. So ourselves and 4 families. That will give us more income to pay for the troughs and some of that stuff. So it should feed on itself. They give us the money, we invested in the troughs and all that, we're able to give them more food. Win-win.
Right back into the garden and
we get infrastructure for future years. Because those troughs aren't going to go away.
Nope.
Barring a tornado. So more products. The one thing, last year's goal, the orchard and fruit. We want to do more than just, apple trees and pear trees. Raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, some of that. And to do that, we've been cutting down weeds. We've been getting rid of trees that are in the way. Just a lot of scrap, buckthorn, and junk.
Cleanup work, yeah.
So some of that is done. In the spring, I got to cut some more trees down. Once that's done, I think if we kind of get some fencing up right, again, got to keep the chickens out of there. If we do that, I think we're on our way.
Yeah.
The expense, we've already got a certain amount of money set aside for all the trees, and I'm looking to buy good sized trees. I don't want to buy 2-foot twigs and wait 6 to 8 years for it to function. I want to buy 6 to 8 foot trees already, get them in so that in 2 to 3 years we have really got a functioning orchard. The one thing we got to buy is some fencing. If we're going to do raspberries, if we're going to do other berries and stuff. Otherwise the chickens are going to feast on all
and
that.
The birds.
And the birds. So that orchard and fruit, we got to do that and get that area organized, and we're well on our way. We need another line of pine trees on our north side and our west side where our predominant winds come from, and use that as a wind block. We've got one line of trees already. A second line would really protect us from the wind.
Yeah, plus as they grow, then they'll be able to take over for the older trees as they might get a little too tall or woody or whatever. So provide some good wind block for us. And the final goal, and this is a maybe, we're looking out for 2024. I'd like to have turkeys and some pigs. And I've got an idea in my head how to lay it all out, how to build a roof on it or a top on it for the turkeys, keep them from flying away and keep predators out. So it'll be a big enclosed run, but then a big area for pigs. And so I want this year to get all the fence posts in. Get the area cleaned up and get it prepped.
And get it, for the pigs if they're going to be rooting around or need some cover crop if it turns out to be like coonies, to get that grass kind of established so it's already there. So a lot of goals, a lot of continuing our progress in the garden out there, expansion truly of the orchard and some of that, adding some new things to it, the herbs, that'll be huge, adding the crops to the CSA, expanding our CSA. We got a full summer already.
Yep, can't wait for summer for it to get warm.
And you got to figure our growing season really is June 1st to October 1st. We got 4 months. So now it's mid-January, towards the end of January. We've got
This is where we start making our list of what seeds do we want to get, so we can start thinking about getting the plants going and seeds planted and get everything pulled together. So we get those going, what, mid-February?
No, March. We'll start in March. We've started them too early on occasion.
Yeah.
They get really leggy. So we're going to start our stuff in March. But between then, put together more plans as far as what do we need to buy, where are we going to buy it, when will it be on sale, when can we start putting things in.
Yeah. And if there's specific items or seeds or something we need, where can we find them?
Yep. So, lots of goals. I don't know. I'd love to. Some of you have done videos, and I've been watching them, and they're great. Thanks for sharing your goals. If you can hold us to our goals, and if you've done something that we mentioned, and you know some places where it might fall through, let me know.
Or little tips and tricks to help us get through it.
I hate failing on a goal. So anyways, there's our goals for 2023. Hopefully we're going to look back in November or at the end of the season and go, look at what we hit.
Yep.
I do not want to have another failure like last year. So everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate your viewing. Take care.
Good night.